Hello friends, this is Jimmy Singh, broker owner of Supermax Realty, 647-961-2639, or you can reach me via my website www.supermaxrealty.ca. So friends, today's video, I was meaning to make it for last couple of weeks, but it just so happened that somebody called me in the morning, one of my clients, and they discuss a situation with their family member, and they told me to give my opinion on the topic. And today's topic is buyer representation, and should a buyer sign it or not, right? So what happened, I'll tell you first what happened to them, and then I will give you my opinion on it. So what happened is the people, they live in Brampton, and they bought a house in London, a brand new pre-construction house last year, and they are looking to assign the house. So their cousin recommended my name that Jimmy, can you help them assign the property, closing soon. So what happened, friends, when he sent me the agreement, I was shocked to know the agent who was sitting at the builder's site, they he put the agreement in their buyer representation and made them sign for a whole year or maybe more than that, because they bought the house last year and the agreement is still valid for next couple of months in 2021, and the client said they are not aware. And these clients, I know, I talk to them on the phone, they're very sweet and they're very simple people, and they were just there at the builder site to only buy that specifically that house which they bought it, right? And that agent, he was sitting there representing the builder, he should have explained them that they are signing bar agency for 1 year. And my question to that agent, if he's listening my video, that if he only serves and lives in London, how can he service a client by making them sign a bar agency if the client live in Mississauga or Toronto? What if they want to buy a house there, right? So that is not a very smart way of doing business. And obviously client have different ways. They're going to probably reach out to his broker of record, the owner of the company, and see what options they got, or they can complain to real estate council if the agent did something deceptive. But that is not the topic I'm going to discuss. So first question which I get asked all the times from the viewers who watch my channel Real Estate Edge with Jimmy Singh, especially the new immigrants, they want to make sure they are not taken advantage. So they say, Jimmy, do I have to sign a buyer representation agreement with the agent? And if yes, for how long? What should I watch out for? So here is my simple answer, friends. No, you don't have to sign a buyer agreement with the agent. I don't know what they're trying to say to you, but for the last 15 years, most of the buyers I work with, I sit with them, I explain them the different options when you work with the realtor, whether I will be representing them as a client or a consumer, or what are their expectations. So I set them pretty good in the beginning. But this week I'm working with like 8 to 9 buyers, and nobody signed any buyer agency with me, but they trust me, I trust them, because 90% of my business is referral based. So I come highly recommended, so people trust me. And obviously I don't shove agreement early in the relationship. Why? Because if I meet a stranger, let's say if I put myself in the buyer shoes, if I meet a stranger, how can I commit to the person without knowing the way his ethics, the way he do business, 1 year commitment? What if the agent is lazy? He don't respond to emails, he don't keep the client posted on the new listings, or the listings off market deals or the builder deals, right? So the expectations have to be set at the very beginning of starting any relationship, right? And in Ontario, Canada, friends, agreement can be in writing, oral, or implied. But our real estate council require us to have a written agreement. What I do is, when clients look at the properties with me, once they are ready to buy any house, we make an offer. That day, I get the buyer agency out, and I make it specific to that particular property, so they don't feel stuck working me for month after month after month, because I want to give all the people option. If the relationship is not working, they should have an option to exit or cancel. I think that is a fair thing to do as a human, or as a good customer service as a businessman, right? So first form, friends, I like to discuss today is called working with a realtor. Actually, I'm just heading to a meeting, probably put an offer on the property. So the form, not sure you guys can see it, but the form looks, it's Ontario Real Estate Association Form A10. So it says working with a realtor. So in this form, friends, basically it just explains the summary of different ways a person can work with the agent. Either he can choose to be a customer, or he can choose to be his client, and it dictates the services you will receive from your realtor and the agent's obligations. And it also explained the multiple multiple representation, just in case, let's say for example, I am representing my seller as my client, and somebody came to my open house when I put an offer, then I'll take him as my customer. So in that situation, my brokerage is multiple representing, right? So when I do those things, or anybody do it, they have to disclose what things can you do for a client or a customer, so they have realistic expectations. For example, if somebody is a client with a brokerage or a broker, so it is the highest form of obligation for a realtor. The brokerage and his salesperson have a fiduciary, meaning legal, a relationship to the client to represent their best interest. So friends, just like a doctor or lawyer, fiduciary basically means you put your client's interest in front of your own. You know what I mean? So you always put your client's interest ahead. So that is the highest form of commitment or relationship you can have it, right? And basically, once you have the relationship, brokerage has the responsibility, or the broker has the responsibility to do what is best for their client. And when you're a consumer or a customer, that is another thing. A buyer may basically wish not to be represented in the transaction, and they want to be treated as a consumer. At the same time, a real estate agent still has an obligation to treat every person in the transaction with honesty, fairness, and integrity. So this is very important, friends, that we have to know. And signing, basically working with the realtor form 810, which you can Google, or if you want a form just for studying, you can call me. I can send you a free copy, or I can email you blank copy. So working with the realtor form, friends, is just a basic summary. It tells you how you want to set up a relationship with the agent, but that is not something that bound you or commit you to the working with that particular agent. And this is just a starting discussion, how you want to be represented. Number one. Now we're going to talk to the elephant in the room, that is called BRA, Buyer Representation Agreement. That is a form, Ontario Real Estate Association, or OREA form 300. So I'll show you the form. It pretty much looks like this. Maybe I will discuss a little bit more from the form. So again, if you need the form, you can Google it, or I can send you a blank copy. You are most welcome to read. And never sign anything without reading, or if you need some time, tell the agent I need to review with my lawyer. That is the best course of action. So friends, always choose the agent wisely. I can't reinforce, right? So even if you're getting referral from your friends or family, that is fine. But if somebody's pushing you too hard, or trying to persuade you, you just take 2 steps back, do your own research, and make your own mind, and tell that agent, I'm going to start a relationship one separate time. I'm not committing to any paperwork. Maybe let's go check out some properties, and then as I told you, you are in no obligation to sign any document. If somebody says otherwise, he's just lying, right? So for that buyer agency, friends, I'll tell you a couple of things. First, let's go with couple of how it looks like, and then I'm going to tell you what you can do, what you can't do. So basically it says, when you see the first page, it is between a brokerage, and it tells you the brokerage phone number, and then the buyer's name and where the buyer lives. So basically that is the buyer representation agreement, the top header. And then it says, what is the commencement date, what time, what date you met the realtor, and basically you sign that, you are now representing me to find a house. It has a start date, it has an end date, just make sure. And then it has a column where it says if you want to work with a realtor for more than 6 months, you have to initial and okay that. So simply just sneaking the form and make it type like 1 year, 2 years, that's not acceptable. And as I said, yes, if you like somebody, you want to work for 1 year, go ahead, but I don't think so in crazy market you need 1 year working with the agent to find a house. It might be very frustrating for you then. So basically in the middle of the first page, friends, of the form 300 ORIA, it says the property type. So here you can say, I'm looking for residential property or investment property. So agent can do that. And then you can be very focused on that. So let's say if you want to work with the agent and say, hey, I want to show only resale homes, the already existing build up homes. So I'm going to just sign it for that. Or if you have an agent, you like him to maybe buy a brand new pre-construction condo or a home, you can put it there only pre-construction. So at the same time, you can have buyer agency with 2, 3, 4 agents. Yes, I can tell you how. Let's say how you can have 2 agents. So you can hire one agent to buy a resale home. You can hire another agent to buy a brand new home, but that has to be written. So when I sit with my clients who meet me for the first time, who don't know me, I go through all this process so we don't have any headache. We have a realistic expectation. At the same time, if they find I'm not the right agent, I'm absolutely perfectly fine. And if I find they are not the right fit, I wish them well and we move on, right? And the second thing in there, you can define the geographical location. So let's say you're looking to buy in Hamilton. You can be as specific as saying, I want to buy in Hamilton Mountain, I want to buy in Stony Creek, I want to buy in Grimsby, Binbrook, Mount Hope, or I want to buy in Brampton, I want to buy in Castlemore, Sandalwood, Chincozy, Steeles, or you want to buy in London, you want to buy in North London, South, East, West. So you can be very, very specific. If you want to go in special school rating, you can also say this school district, you want me to find a house for me. So if my client is looking, if they want to a certain school area, me and my team, we go find some pocket listing, or we find sellers who are willing to sell, though the house is not even on the market. So we have different strategies we discuss. And then friends, obviously you have to initial and okay the first page. And then I'll tell you a couple of things which I'm not sure if you sign a 1 year agency anywhere in Ontario, that agent explain you these things. So the clause second, in the buyer agency says commissions. So here is a thing I want to highlight. It says the buyer agrees to pay the brokerage commission if the buyer enters to an agreement within dash amount of days, even after expiration of this agreement. That is called a holdover period. So what is a holdover period, friend? Is basically even your relationship or your this buyer agency get expired. If they put like holdover is 60 days, it means even after expiry, if you go buy a house, you go even rent a house, that agent can come after you to get commission. So be very, very careful, right? And the other thing you have to also look is basically, it says if the buyer agrees to pay the brokerage, any deficiency between the commissions mentioned in the agreement, and is there any deficiency, the brokerage is to be paid. So for example, let's say you sign this buyer relationship with the agent and he says, okay, in Brampton, buyer agents are paid 2.5%. Or let's say in Hamilton, buyer agents are paid 2%, or in London, they are paying 2%, or in Kitchener, they get paid 2%. Every area, there's a norm, not norm, I can say, because commissions can't be, a firm. Basically, it is just between seller and the listing agent. So let's say you put in this agreement 2%, and he is showing you property in Brampton, which is 2.5% commission, right? So basically there's a shortfall of 0.5% commission. For 100,000, for a 500,000 house, friends, you can see that can be a substantial amount. If you're buying $1 million house, it goes up. So if there's a deficiency in commission which you sign, the agent actually can come after you and claim that shortfall. So be mindful you're signing this agreement where these clauses are already there, right? So always be mindful. And then it says the third clause that the agent has explained you all different kind of options you have as a consumer or as a client. So that is something very, very important. See friends, at the end of the day, I feel this is just a piece of paper, doesn't mean much. If somebody is not ethical, even if he signed this agreement, he won't be ethical down the line. So this is the reason it's very, very critical you choose your agent wisely. Because in our industry, for a buyer especially, they said caveat emptor. That's a legal term meaning buyer beware. So what that is basically is buyer is solely responsible for the quality or the product they're buying and checking it, right? So that is something you have to keep in mind. And buyer representation ORIA form 300 confirms the relationship and the agent promise to promote client's interest. Number one, negotiate the best terms and deal for the client and maintain the confidentiality. So if he knows the client is approved for 800,000, he shouldn't be vomiting all this information to the listing agent and saying, don't worry, my client is good till 800,000, right? Though he can, get the less money, negotiate less pricer for that, right? And he should also be disclosing all the material facts about the property. And as I said, this listing, the buyer representation ORIA form, friends, it can be signed for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. It really depends. So typically what I do is, if somebody doesn't know me very well, I said, I think it's fair if I go show you certain properties that day, maybe 3 properties. If we just make this BRA or buyer agency, I type the address of 3 properties. And if they end up buying those properties, I think I should be compensated for my time. That is fair. But I'm not going to tie a person for 1 year and then, not provide the services. That is not fair. So keep that in your mind. And third agreement you have to be, aware is called Consumer Service Agreement, which is ORIA Form 310. So you have actually, if you refuse to sign BRA, if you say, hey, I just met you, I'm not comfortable signing 1 year form with you, bar agency, I just want to be a customer. So basically, you find me a house, I go with you, see how, if I like it, I'm going to put an offer. So that form is called, friends, Customer Service Agreement, ORIA Form 310, right? So that is a form where a buyer basically decide that he don't want to sign a buyer agency, but he don't want to be a client. Still, he need assistance to buy a property, right? He might not be represented by the brokerage. Still, he has to be treated with fairness, honesty, and our agent has to avoid any misrepresentation or any, he can't, make an excuse not to tell, those things about the property if a client asks. But he is under no obligation in regards to, doing comparative analysis for the client or, getting the good deal for his client. So that is the main difference. So when somebody is a customer, it means the agent doesn't have to, tell you or guide you, because guidance or advice is only for clients, not the customers. So keep that in mind, right? And at the end of the day, friends, these things have to be very, very transparent to make a long term relationship, whether you are a client or a customer, or you want a good experience buying your first property. Other thing you have to do is the 9-number clause in BRA says, if there's any conflict and you want to clarify certain clauses in this relationship, you have to put a schedule and explain clearly. So basically what that means is, if an agent promises to entice you maybe some cashbacks or gifts or whatever, and you want to make sure tomorrow he doesn't change his mind, make sure you can put in writing in the BRA. So that way everything is very, very transparent. And at the end of the day, if you don't have an agent, it's always a good idea, just take those paperwork, talk to your lawyer and see what he has to do. And if you have any further question, you can always call me. My number is 647-961-2639. Or if you're a first time visitor to my channel, Real Estate Edge with Jimmy Singh, you can subscribe it, and if you like the video, you can smash the like button. Again, friends, as a buyer, if you are looking to buy a property in Ontario, Canada, so you can have three forms which basically our real estate council want us to discuss with you. And when you make an offer, that time especially we have to go over with these things. And as any good agent knows, it's our responsibility to tell the clients these are the options. The first form, friends, again is form 810 ORIA form, working with the realtor. You can google it or you can call me, I'll send you a free copy. Second form, friends, is called BRA, buyer representation agreement, ORIA form 300. That cements your relationship, that your agent is taking you as his legal fiduciary, and he put your interest above and beyond his own interest, irrespective he get high commission, less commission, doesn't matter. Whether the property is listed on MLS, not listed, is power of sale, it is expired listing, is not even on the market. We like to help people. So if I know my clients want a house in a certain street, I'll go actually door knock and pretty much find a seller for my house, right? And the third form, friends, you have to be aware is called customer service agreement form 310 ORIA. That basically means if you decide not to have a buyer relationship with the agent, or you want to be his client, you basically sign that agreement. It give you benefit. Still, he has to be fair to you, honest to you, and still have to disclose the material effect. But just remember, just like if I'm a full-time agent, that is what I do for my living. I want to make sure my time is taken into consideration. And then you always remember, if you hire an agent who work full-time, and then when you want him to be on top of the market, help you with new listings or new projects in this crazy market, as an agent, my loyalty is duty is towards my clients who are committed to working with me. So any good deal that come on the market, all the professional agents, they will always give that scoop to their clients first, and whatever is left out, they email to inquiries, or what we call consumers, right? So be very, very mindful. There's a benefit of signing buyer agency. I can't reinforce it, but do it with the agent you can trust, and take your time signing any legal document. I hope you like the video. If you have any questions, you can reach me at 647-961-2639. Thanks for watching. God bless.